Jones. Time for a look at the business news now on the programme, and Yuka Roy is joining us here on set. People displaced by war starting return to their homes, as we were talking about at the top of the programme, in South Lebanon, as that ceasefire between Israel and Hezbollah took effect. But they're facing very many economic hardships as well, aren't they, Yuka, for years to come?
That's right, Stuart. More than a year after the latest conflict began in October of 2023, parts of Lebanon are left in ruins. Now, in an interim damage assessment released earlier this month, the World Bank said damages to physical structures alone amounted to $3.4 billion as of late October. Together with other losses due to decreased economic activity, total economic losses were estimated at $8.5 billion. Of course, the final figure is set to be much higher as fighting continued after those figures came out. Housing is by far the most damaged sector, but commerce and agriculture together lost around $2.8 billion as well due to lost harvest and supply chain disruptions, as well as people being displaced. Lebanon was already grappling with a severe economic crisis after years of financial mismanagement and mounting debt. GDP fell from around $55 billion in 2018 to about $35 billion in 2020 and never really recovered after that. This year, the economy is set to shrink by at least 6.6%, whereas modest growth had been expected prior to the war. With that, let's have a quick check on the day's trading action. European markets opened on a muted note, with London flat and Paris extending losses. Earlier, Asian markets were mixed. Chinese shares are rallying despite new data showing the country's industrial profits falling by 10% in October, fueling deflation worries. Tokyo's Nikkei has continued its decline for a second day. Shares in Sanrio, the company behind Hello Kitty and other character brands, plunged after major shareholders said they would significantly reduce their stakes. Stuart.
Now, Germany in the grip of an economic downturn, and its famously diligent workers are taking sick leave from work more and more often, apparently.
Well, in 2023, Stuart, German workers took on average 15 days off compared with 11 in 2021. This year, it's projected to see a record amount of sick leave in the nation's workforce. It's costing the economy more than 30 billion euros a year, hampering its recovery. Our correspondents on the ground report on why so many people are calling in sick.
Dr. Moni Mayberg witnesses it every day in her practice. Sick leave has risen sharply. After COVID and other respiratory illnesses, Germany is now suffering from severe fatigue, she says.
Taking time off sick for exhaustion seems to have risen most sharply. People are working and working until they collapse.
For the past 3 years, workers have been calling in sick on average an extra 2.5 days each year. It's a headache for companies which, like Tesla, are increasingly checking on employees at home. At Tesla's factory gates in Grünheide, workers deny that they are lazy.
Of course, people fall ill more in the winter. It's also the German weather.
The workload is heavy here. We're well paid, but a lot is expected of us.
Over 40% of sick leave now concerns mental health. It is costing Germany 30 billion euros a year, says this economist.
We've done the math, and in 2023, economic performance fell by 0.3%. It could have risen by 0.5% if the number of sick days had remained normal. That's a big difference. It would have saved Germany from recession.
In this company, where staff still quarantine for COVID, they take great care of their workforce. In a country where sick leave is now creating labour shortages, every single employee counts.
We regularly reassess workstations to improve employee comfort. Every sick day means more work for other workers, and for us, a bigger overtime bill.
Getting Germans back to work is now a matter of urgency as the country enters its second year of economic doldrums.